Come to TechMark training. What makes you different from others PHP developer? What are the vital skills that will help you to get hired? Knowing PHP language is not enough to get hired quickly. There are tools and assets associated with it. This short tutorial will help you to understand what skills needed to be a PHP developer, how to stand out different from other coders who are learning like what are employers looking for in PHP developers. As you can see, it has been categorized into 5 different sections. The first, PHP essentials. What are the PHP essentials? They are the basic syntax of PHP, like how to set up an environment and all this syntax, and which is easy to understand. It will take you 1 or 2 days to learn all this. Then come back to other important part of this section is MVC and OOPS. So what is MVC and OOPS? MVC is model view control, which separates your programming logic from the user interface. Programming logic is telling a application what should happen when user clicks, and user interface is the front end of the application. And what are OOPS? OOPS is a concept used for two things: to stop duplicating the code, and the code will always change, so the scalability is very easy if you use OOPS concept. So the next category are the framework. So why framework is important? At the moment, there are loads of frameworks available PHP. One of my favorite one is Laravel. This is the Laravel, but Zend framework is also very popular, and Cake PHP is very popular. But what's the point using framework? What is framework? Using one of these frameworks are more productive, better and more readable code, more maintainable code. A framework makes programming easier. This is the important part. A framework makes programming easier, efficient, and automates common tasks. The next part of the development is version control. So what are version controls and why do you think they are important? Version controls are a tracking system, keeps track of every version of the software, knowing what, who, and when the changes has been made. Any problem that errors can be tracked and fixed easily if you are using version control. It can be easily coordinated within the team. For an example, you can see there are 3 developers working 3 different sections of the same application. So one developer can commit which is updating to the central repository. This is the main repository, which is the code. All these 3 developers are working on the same code, and this developer 1 updates, this developer 2 can update, this developer 3 can update. What updates happen is, if this developer has export his coding to the central repository, that coding can be seen and can be visible by this developer by updating. So this is a very efficient way to manage the code and to see what other developers are developing at the same time. So if you have multiple developers working on the same project, you can view and edit by having a central repository. And also every update, so you can see we have developed a small code at stage 1, and we have added more codes at stage 1.5 and add more codes at 2.0. So these subversion and bit buckets are the tools available widely as a version control. So if developer has made a mistake at the stage 1.5, with these version control, you can go back and restore the coding where it was in a working condition. That's the benefit of using version control. The last category, but not the least, is agile methodology. So what is agile methodology? So as you can see in this process, in the development process, you meet the client, you develop a documentation, then you plan the architect of the web application development, and then you plan the designing, and then the development has been made, and the developer, after development, the testing has been started, and they evaluate, and then the project has been delivered. So this is agile software development cycle. In the process of this cycle, there is lots of communication between the developers. There are lots of tasks need to be completed to finish the project. So Zira is one of the toply used agile tool. So what is the benefit and how this process can be more efficient? Using one of these tool, individuals and interactions over process and the tool, working software over comprehensive document, respond to the change over flowing a plan, collaboration between the business stakeholder and the developers throughout the project, support, trust, and motivate the people involved, enable face-to-face interactions, regular reflection, and how to become more efficient. The good part, me using agile methodology is, for example, my project manager would like me to change something, and he has sent me through request through email, and today he sent me few requests, tomorrow he will send me more requests, and by the end of the week I'm lost which task and which request to be completed first, and what are the priorities, and it's ad hoc system. So any task which come through should come through this tool, and we can set the priorities, and any request comes, they have to be in the queue based on the priority, and the development is done. This will help developer to focus on the task which they already started, and which stops the other stakeholders, directors, or project managers to get involved and change the development process on ad hoc basis. So why choose us? I we are covering all the vital skills that will help you to get hired. I'll make sure this course will boost your confidence and you will be ready to put forward your CV and start facing interview. So as I mentioned, we will cover all those aspects: essential PHP, MVC, OOPS, version control, agile structure. An extra bit I forgot to mention by added here is minifying, APIs, cloud concept. If you know all these sections, I'm sure the employer will have a trust on you and he will consider you as an asset for the company. You are there not to learn, you are there to input your ideas, you are there to work, to make their work easier. That's why they will hire you. So please subscribe and join to the courses on the below link. Thanks for watching.